What's going on, everybody? I'm Daniella Bruce here with another Locked On Insider Report. Joining me right now is our Locked On MLB Insider, Gordon Beckham. Gordon, we're here to look at the Braves tonight. Braves win the NLDS and they await the winner of the Dodgers Giants, which is another great series. So we'll stick to the Braves right now. The NL East was not great this season, and a lot of people wrote off whichever team was coming from this division. How did the Braves find themselves at this point?
Yeah, I did some commenting on this team throughout the season because I live here in Atlanta, so I got to watch them kind of up close and personal. And they were not a team that was going to make it to the playoffs in late July. And then all of a sudden, Alex Anthopoulos goes out and he basically makes trades. One trade to get a bullpen arm, but more so to just bolster their lineup. And they got some veteran guys back in there. They got Jorge Soler and they got Duvall back. And he's played great in a Braves uniform ever since he's been there. But Duvall showed up. Excuse me. Duvall was really good down the stretch. Their lineup just got really good because they were having at bats. Like they weren't allowing the pitchers or the opposing teams to have easy, cheap outs. They were making them work. They were making them work in the zone. They were not chasing a lot. They just had great at-bats from top to bottom. Obviously, the pitching staff did really well too, but I think the biggest change was just adding some guns to that lineup, and they definitely just changed the dynamic of that team because they just started having great at-bat after great at-bat, and that wears on pitchers. And when they do that, that's how they were able to just kind of sneak into the playoffs. But such a good team. I like it. And they're led by Brian Snitker, who's such a good manager. I mean, he just really controls the room really well, and the guys respect him. And so when they got that lineup and the pitchers kept doing what they were supposed to be doing, things started clicking, and they just took down a really, really good team in the Brewers and did it in 4 games. It's impressive.
So, Gordon, the Braves won 88 games this season, and you just listed a lot of reasons that they were probably better in the postseason than they were in the regular season. Do you just believe that when you make some changes to the lineup, when your pitching's doing really well, that it provides a spark, or was something done drastically different when it comes to coaching?
No, I think Snit did a good job of not going crazy. I mean, because they really had a kind of an up and down first half, and nobody in the NL East was really taking the ball and running with it. So he just hung in there. It was just kind of a battle of will to stay in the hunt, and because they just were not fun to watch. They weren't a great team early on, but then all of a sudden they just kind of kept. Just slow momentum, slowly getting a little bit better every day. Their infielders, all of them had monster years, big homer years, hit a lot of RBIs, drove in a lot of RBIs. I mean, they were just a really special group that ended up coming out of what people thought was just going to be a throwaway year for the Braves. So it's impressive to see what they've done. And I think they're going to be a formidable opponent. And I know we're going to talk more about it, but they are trending in the right direction. We talk a lot about momentum. They have the momentum. Freddie Freeman with a huge blast tonight to get them over the top against probably the best closer in the league and Josh Hader. So it was a fun game to watch. And as a kind of a closet Braves fan growing up in Atlanta, it was good to see them advance.
Well, on the other side of things, the Brewers only scored 6 runs through 4 games. What happened to their offense?
They ran into a little bit of a buzzsaw with the Braves. I mean, the Braves, those guys have been the starting pitching for the Braves has been really good, and in spurts, their bullpen has been really solid. So I think that they just ran into a team that's a little bit hotter than them. They had to work a little bit harder to get into the postseason than the Brewers did, and we talk a lot about it. Momentum is key, and the Braves just started trending in that direction. And the Brewers had a few days off. I think they won the first game and then lost the next 3. I mean, it can happen quick in this league. And they just didn't have it. They just didn't have what they had most of the year, and the Braves took advantage of it.
Okay, Gordon, as a closet Braves fan, you're obviously going to be rooting for them to move forward, and they're going to play either the Dodgers or the Giants coming up in the NLCS. Which team is the better matchup for the Braves?
I don't think the Braves want to see either one. I mean, obviously these guys are behemoths out there in the NL West. I mean, they are just really good. I mean, they've won up like 108 or 107 games. It doesn't really matter. They were well over the 100 mark, and they were having to do it all season long to try to make sure the Giants, especially, to keep the Dodgers away from gaining first place and getting the first seed in the playoffs. So these guys have been doing it more than the Braves have, and they ran away with these divisions. I mean, they would have had the best records if they had been in any other division. So I think that the Braves are going to have their hands full, but like I said, it just doesn't really matter when you start getting a little bit of momentum and you start feeling that, hey, in the locker room, in the clubhouse, that, hey, we've got a chance to do something special. That really just starts to, it matriculates, excuse me, and just keeps on flowing, and that's the beauty about baseball. It just kind of just happens.
Well, I'm looking forward to see what the Braves can do as well, Gordon. Thank you so much for joining us to discuss this game. And of course, we will be locked on right here for all of MLB playoff information. For more insider analysis and local experts, check out your local Locked On podcast for more. Locked On, your team every day.